Hi again, Ohio. This is the Retirement Blueprint Show with Tim Lofton of Axum Planning and Wealth. I'm Spike Spangle. Tim, great to see you. What's on your mind this week?
Well, we're going to talk about the dangers of lunchroom, water cooler, barbecue, retirement advice.
You mean the kind of stuff we hear from our friends and our family, and
where we get our best information.
The bar and the bar room.
The guy at the bar, like, I'm sure he knows what he's doing. I mean,
although Tim, I think right away we dated ourselves there. Water cooler? Doesn't everybody walk in with their own water bottles?
That's true. They got that Stanley Cup now, right? Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
We just advertise it for. Maybe we'll get free Stanley Cups.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean,
But folks,
well, if we're gonna get free cups, I'm gonna say the other company with the 4 letters.
I know. Sounds like Yeti.
Yeti.
Folks, on today's program, there's a lot of rumors that you hear about what you should do for retirement planning. And today we want to focus more on the facts. Focus on yourself, your family situation, your goals, your objectives. Problem today, Tim, is we also have social media at our fingertips.
We do.
And I'm seeing more advertisements than ever and all different kinds of pieces of advice. Your TikTok channel is blowing up.
Yeah, you know, everybody loves the TikTok, right? I mean, there's nothing more exciting than flipping through and seeing whatever it is you see on that TikTok.
Yeah. One of the things I actually heard at a family gathering recently, actually I heard it from both of my uncles. It's like, I'm never going to retire. I love doing what I'm doing. One of my uncles owns a business. Our other uncle really enjoys it. But the concept of working forever, continuing to stay doing what you're doing just because you love it, sometimes the rug is pulled out from under you, isn't it?
Sometimes those decisions are made and you don't have a say. You know, here's the thing. I love it when somebody comes into my office and says, you know, I love what I do. I like going to work every day. I mean, that's how I am. I love going to work every day. I love what I do. I love helping people. It's an amazing career. But I also don't have the illusion that I can do it forever. I want to do it for a long time, but at some point, it's going to come to an end. So it's not that you have to plan on physically retiring, but you need to be financially ready if you do.
Right. We can look at a few different things. If we don't study our history, we're doomed to repeat it.
Yeah.
Things like the auto industry. I mean, there were millions of workers across the country who were replaced by robotics in the 70s and 80s. You look at the uses of AI right now, and folks are feeling a nervousness about that.
And the mistakes that companies have made. I mean, Kodak, they decided that nobody is ever going to stop printing out pictures. Oops.
Yeah, oops, big oops. And the same year that Kodak actually had to declare bankruptcy, there was this little company that was sold for $2 billion, Instagram, right?
Huh, yeah, I've heard of those people.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to keep renting movies at the video store. Blockbuster gone. Netflix
I don't know. I might still have my Blockbuster card.
I loved my guy. I had a guy at the Blockbuster. He had like a college degree in film studies working at Blockbuster. Great advice, but he's gone. Along with Blockbuster.
Well, and that's the thing, is that industries change, and we're not trying to make people nervous, but if you're thinking that you might work for the next 10 or 15 or 20 years, your industry itself might change. I will say this, especially because we're around Ohio, and I know that we have the base near us. Millions of federal employees received a letter recently about the deferred resignation plan. A lot of scare, a lot of nervousness, a lot of concern, because maybe they weren't ready to retire.
Right.
For those who are in that position, they might feel embarrassed, like they can't reach out to someone. Do you mind talking to folks who are in this position right now?
You know, we say this all the time. I mean, you don't know what you don't know, but there is no dumb question. You know, wherever it is that you are, I mean, everybody that comes into our office seems like, you know, I should have done this, I wish I'd have done that, if. Listen, you are where you are. Now, what are we going to do about it? Let's look forward. Let's look at the present and let's look at the future, and let's figure out where you are. If you're in that position right now where you are one of those federal employees, you got that letter in the mail, you have no idea what it means or what to do, you're not alone. I'm not even sure the government's got it all figured out at this point, but come in and see us and let's sit down and take a look. So many times people think that they're a lot further behind than they actually are. And, you know, if we can figure out a way to work it out, and you're in that position right now to accept that offer, might be a great deal, might not. We have to figure it out.
And you know, one of the things that really goes overlooked, everyone talks about having an emergency fund. But this is what an emergency fund is about.
Exactly.
Is knowing that, hey, you know what, I can cover the bills for the next 6 months. I can cover the bills for the next 12 months for my family and make sure they're okay as I maybe look for another position or decide whether we can be and stay retired or pivot. It gives you the time. Everything we do about the retirement blueprint is giving you the comfort and peace of mind so you can sleep at night.
It's about fixing the what ifs. And, think about all the things that we have flowing around in our mind. What happens if something happens to me? What happens if something happens to my spouse? What happens to our income? What happens if we have to go to a long-term care stay? What happens if I lose my job or my job changes and the new job doesn't pay as much? All of those what ifs, that's what the retirement blueprint is all about. It's about creating not just hope, but direction and what we would do if those things happen.
On the chance that over here on the weekend that somebody is watching the program, the base that's near us here, do you mind talking
right pad.
The right pad, that's right. Would you mind talking to any of the federal employees if they reach out?
No, we have conversations with people around the base all the time. If you have a TSP and you have the federal pension plan, we understand how it works. We understand the Medicare and the health insurance piece of it. We understand how all that's put together. We can have an informed discussion with you and hopefully maybe even enlighten you on things that you may not have known about your own plan.
I have friends, parents who are in the real estate industry and they've been in there for a long time, and they were talking about it, over the holiday season, about getting text messages at 11 o'clock at night, at midnight, 6 o'clock in the morning as people are on the way to work. Sometimes industries change in a way that you just don't want to be there anymore. You still have knowledge, you still want to do something positive, you still want to have goals,
right.
But maybe the industry, maybe it's time to take a look. Things are changing very, very quickly, but this could be a great time to take a pause and see, how well am I doing right now? And you can sit down with a financial planning team and figure that out together.
For sure. I mean, we're seeing more and more of the people coming into our office. They're not looking at a hard stop retirement. They're looking at getting to a place where maybe they can make a change. We've had clients that have started their own business. We've had clients that have changed jobs. Clients, like at the base, that they qualify for their pension, they take their pension, and then they keep working, doing something different. Now I don't have to make as much money because I have a guaranteed income source coming in. Maybe I can do something fun, more exciting. But stopping working today is not necessarily the answer, because so much of what we do adds to longevity. Having a purpose, having that team camaraderie, working together as a collective group, that collaboration, all of those things add to our life expectancy. So many studies that we've reported on just in the last couple of years have shown that.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Tim. Folks, don't go anywhere. We got to get rapid fire through some of the other retirement rumors that we hear about. The lunchroom, water cooler, and barbecue advice you get on your own retirement planning. We're going to get through as many as we can when we get back. But right now, it's an interactive show. You can call that phone number right now down at the bottom of the screen. We have folks standing by, and you can get started on your own, no-cost retirement blueprint with the team of Axon Planning and Wealth right here in Ohio. Call that phone number. We'll be right back after this.
One of the things that we're seeing in the office today is people are coming in with statements that are down 15, 20, 30%, and they're still needing that same income withdrawal, which means the percentage they're taking out from their portfolio is now higher, which increases that risk of running out of money in retirement. This is where planning for volatility really comes into play, and it's the biggest shift that we're making for new people coming in our office, trying to help them recover what they've lost, but also make sure that they don't run into that same situation down the road. When you're looking at retirement planning versus pre-retirement planning, that's the difference. One is about accumulation. It's about growing your money over time. Once you get to retirement, it's about distribution, which is a different strategy. At our office, what we focus on is giving jobs to the money. It's making sure that the dollars that we need to produce income have that volatility removed. That allows us to take risk in other areas because we have our income figured out. If volatility has been an issue, if you're looking at your statement right now and it's down 15, 20, 30%, do you know how you're going to get back? Do you know what you're going to do in the future if that happens again? If you don't, sit down with us for a complimentary review. Let us design a retirement blueprint to help you retire and, more importantly, stay retired. Did you know your retirement isn't entirely yours? That's right. Your 401k, IRA, or pension is actually shared with Uncle Sam. And when it's time to withdraw, he'll be waiting for his cut in the taxes. Want to know how much you will owe? Use our easy tax calculator to find out. You can scan the QR code or go to blueprinttaxbill.com.
Welcome back to the Retirement Blueprint Show with Tim Lofton of Accent Planning and Wealth. I'm Spike Spangle, and we're talking about some of the rumors and the kinds of things that you hear when you're with friends at work about how you should retire.
At the barbecue.
At the barbecues. But you want to wrap something up, though, on the, if you are let go or if you're worried about how your industry is changing and whether you're prepared for retirement.
Yeah, I mean, don't be phased if you get phased out. And what I mean by that is have a plan. There's nothing wrong with continuing to network. Have a plan B. Know where you would go. If your job went away tomorrow, what would you do? What would that look like? Keep that always fresh. The biggest mistake that I've seen, and this happened multiple times last year to clients, they're 3 years out, 4 years out, 5 years out. They have no intention of leaving. They're going to kind of ride off into the sunset, and the rug was pulled out from under them. And fortunately for them, they had plans. We obviously had prepared for that, but you're never really prepared when it actually happens. It can create a lot of anxiety when you were planning on this and all of a sudden now you're kind of in the beginning again.
Yeah, and our message for folks out there is don't be phased if you're phased out. Take a breath, we understand, but you also don't have to just sit at home and feel bad. There are steps that you can take. We're happy to review your situation. Maybe you're closer than you think. Maybe you've done pretty well, and we can just give you some advice on what to maybe do next, or maybe you are close enough for retirement. Here's another few things I've heard. I've heard this one a lot. Look, I've chosen the funds in my 401k. I've seen it grow. It's doing fine. Number one, I'm not sure I need an advisor. Number two, I think I'm just going to leave it at that workplace because I've seen how well it's performed. Mm-hmm. You hear things like that? Or I'm sure people have to say that when they sit across from you on the desk.
Sure. I mean, that comes up. Here's the thing to remember. When you're looking at retirement, it's different than pre-retirement. We talk about the accumulation years. Those are the years, 20, 30, 40 years that you're saving for retirement. Once you get to retirement, you're entering the distribution years. Completely different set of rules, completely different set of needs. We have to figure out the tax piece. We have to figure out the risk piece. We have to figure out the estate planning piece. Social Security and pension claiming strategy. There's a lot of different things. So the idea of just kind of letting status quo carry you through retirement can be very dangerous.
Yeah, and you might also be looking at the performance of this 401k, but you've been adding to that every couple of paychecks. You've also been getting a match from your employer. You've been getting the benefits of dollar cost averaging, meaning not acting emotionally to investing or not investing. Right. So that growth, there's a lot that's also been added in there from your employer. It's going to be totally different when you start taking money out. By the way, and this isn't to say anything bad, but they're also not free. A lot of people think, well, this was my work plan, so the fees are low, and maybe I can have them help me with a decumulation strategy. I don't know. You didn't get a lot of help with your 401k advice while you were there. Right. I don't know if that's where I want to keep it.
Well, other than the guy at the barbecue, he had good ideas on what maybe to put that money into. When we're looking at the whole idea of that transition period, it's that kind of 5 years before retirement to the actual retirement date. There's a lot of things that we need to figure out. And a lot of times we kind of take a step back and just like that, we think, hey, this is inexpensive. I'm in this 401k. I'm not really paying any fees. You're paying about the same amount of fees a lot of times as you would actually having an advisor involved. And the 401k is not giving you advice. They may have online tools or whatever, but they're not going to be able to give you tax advice on how to get that money out. They're not going to tell you on, if you should be changing investments. A lot of times the investments you need aren't even available inside of the 401k plan. So it's dangerous to take that approach. All
right. So you do want to take control of your 401ks. Do it properly. You want to roll it over properly. If you've never done this before, if you've only done this one or twice, you want to sit down with a team who can help you come up with a plan. I want to get through a few more of these if you don't mind. Some of the rumors, things that we hear from folks. I hear this one a lot. You can Google this one if you want to. I hear annuities are bad, they're risky, they're illiquid. Man, the emotional fervor, expensive. If you look at annuities online, you either get 50% of it that, oh, I'm a big fan, and it looks like an advertisement, or a lot of dislike on them. Should you be emotional about this tool?
You shouldn't be emotional about investing. You should understand the tool. You should make sure that it's the right tool for you. And then, most importantly, you should make sure of all the tools like it that you get the best tool. A lot of times we think about things like annuities. And listen, annuities are super confusing. There are ones out there that are expensive. There are ones out there that aren't very good. There are ones out there that don't perform. But here's what I know. When we transitioned from the pension generation to the 401k generation, you know what the 401k generation wants? A pension. They want a pension. And there's a reason why $400 billion a year goes into annuities, because it is a great place to get guaranteed income. But we can't stop there. Okay, Tim, that's great. We should go get an annuity. Maybe, maybe not. It may be the right thing for you. It might not be the right thing for you. And most importantly, understand that anybody with an insurance license can sell you one of these things. So you got to make sure that you have an entire holistic picture of what that thing's supposed to do for you. And you need a team of people to help you implement it.
Thank you. I appreciate that, because I think we need to learn the questions, especially for our viewers, to ask when someone is talking to them about a financial tool. For instance, if we explain licensing and so forth to people, people will get lost. So should they say, are you only licensed to sell insurance tools? Do you also manage assets? Do you have tax planning strategies? Can I discuss estate planning? I mean, what's the question for the viewer for somebody who's talking to them about financial tools?
A lot of times the mistake that we see is that we have these kind of one-stop shops to get investments. We've got the investment guy, and maybe he gives us some mutual funds, and then we've got an insurance guy that talked to us about annuities, or maybe we went to one of those dinner seminars and we got a free steak, and we felt obligated to, throw that guy a little bit of love, and we ended up with this annuity, and we don't really know why we have it. If you don't know why you have it, if you don't know what you're paying for it, if you don't know how it works, if you don't understand things like caps, spread, and all kinds of other terms that I could throw out there, and that's associated with something you're betting your retirement on, you need to know the answers to those questions. The best way to do that is to sit down with a team that does all of it, not just a certain product or not just a certain type of strategy, but they can look and put together a holistic plan.
And I'll speak for Tim and say that's exactly what the team at Axum Planning and Wealth does. Holistic retirement planning that includes your investments, income strategy, tax planning, estate planning conversations, health coverage through your long years of retirement, even how and when to turn on your Social Security. And if you've turned on your Social Security, how do you incorporate that into your entire income plan? Holistic planning. Get your own retirement blueprint, your tailored advice on how to be and stay retired, very simply by calling that phone number down on the bottom of the screen right now. People are standing by. You can schedule your own appointment right now. We'll be back with the Retirement Blueprint Show and Tim Lofton right after this.
My most rewarding moment for helping clients is seeing the fear of the unknown disappear from their face. Some people are worried about a potential nursing home stay. Some, it's market volatility and losing their money in their investment. Some are just genuinely concerned about the direction of the economy. But for the most part, the whole taking away of fear and concern starts with having a plan. Not something off the shelf, but something customized to that family, where we can sit down and get to know them intimately, to understand what their hopes and dreams are. What do they want to have happen after they're gone? And make sure that those things happen. The Retirement Blueprint is exactly that. It's a blueprint for retirement. It's built off of the 5 cornerstones of retirement planning. That's developing an income plan, creating a tax plan, an estate plan, a long-term care and health care plan, and of course, the investment plan. And the best part is we have a team of people to come alongside to do all of those things that have the credentials and the expertise and the years of experience to make sure that everyone is coming together to create the best plan. It takes those worries out of their head and puts solutions down on paper. Do you think your retirement savings is all yours? Think again. Your 401k, IRA, and pension come with a tax bill from Uncle Sam, and it could be bigger than what you expect. Want to find out how much you're going to owe? Our quick and easy tax calculator can show you right now. Just scan the QR code or visit us at blueprinttaxbill.com to see your potential tax bill and how to plan around it.
Welcome back. Retirement rumors that you hear at the water cooler or at the family bar or barbecue or the event. Or
I like the family bar. So do you have a family bar?
Well, come on. You know this, and I don't want to lose any viewers, though, but I grew up on the south side of Chicago. So, yes,
right.
there was actually literally a family bar. Like, you could literally have your kids babysat there.
South side of Chicago.
Different time, different era. All right, retirement rumors and myths here. You know what? We hear this one all the time. I heard this at my family event from my own pop. He said, I'm not worried about long-term care because you're going to take care of me when I get older.
Did you know?
Yeah,
you know
because
that
he
you were
keeps
taking
saying
care
it
of
every single year.
Right?
And every single year I get a little more nervous about it.
Well, I will say, there's a lot of countries out there that's very normal. So if you live in India and are watching our show, or maybe in Africa, you probably are right. Your family will take care of you as you get older. If you live in the United States, you may want to check. I mean, your dad did check with you. Have you actually answered that question?
Well, it's a cute thing to kind of laugh about, and it always gets a chuckle. But I'm telling you, it's part of what's known kind of as the sandwich generation right now.
Yeah.
As folks get older, you're taking care of your own wife and family and kids, and maybe your adult kids need some help, either with getting the wedding together, or a down payment on the house, or
moving back into your basement.
Or moving back
pet.
into the basement. And then you're also taking care of them as your parents get older and older, and all of these higher costs. So it's an actual real situation right now. So I would kind of rather the older generation start addressing it for themselves instead of us having to worry about it.
And that's something that we bring up a lot in the estate planning process is, even if it's kind of an agreed upon thing, and we have lots of clients that this is something, maybe their kids had a medical background, they've built on an in-law suite, they're kind of preparing for it, and that's very encouraging that they aren't just talking about it, they've actually done those things. But there can still come a time where the kids can't take care of you. Where you get to a point, it could be dementia, it could be other things, but I mean, there's been many cases of clients that we've had that at some point they still end up having to go to a nursing home, not because the kids have given up, they just don't have the skill set.
The resources.
The resources.
It's physical resources, the mental resources, the time, the energy, or the financial.
And the emotional resources.
Yeah.
Imagine, well, I don't want to go down that path, but I mean, you're taking care of mom and dad in more intimate ways than you want to necessarily take care of mom and dad, and it's uncomfortable for everybody.
Right. So it starts the conversation of, can we afford home nursing care, home nursing visitations? Do we want to look into facilities, but actually having the conversation? You got to understand the kind of stress it puts on your family. You say, don't worry, you guys will take care of us when we get older. And we do, and we love you, and we want to. But the physical and the mental resources it takes to take care of our family members, as we're possibly in our high earnings years, trying to start to save for our retirement because of how we helped out our kids, is at least worth having the conversations. And if you're having a tough time having it, you can actually do it in the offices here. Right. Hey, you know what? It's been very popular, and we're getting phone calls, and I want to see if we can slip in one very quick financial news or noise.
Fact or fiction?
Fact or fiction. Holding cash in savings accounts protects your wealth in retirement. Fact or fiction?
Well, protects it how? That's my question. I mean, it's going to guarantee you right now it's going to go down about 3% every year for the rest of your life because of inflation. Because we're never going to keep pace with inflation when it comes to savings accounts. The real reason why people are doing something like that is volatility. They're afraid of the markets. They're afraid of the what ifs.
Yes.
That means that they don't have a plan. That means they haven't given jobs to the money that we talk about on each and every show. If you have those things, you then are defining what risks you can take with that money.
Right. The discussion that we've had many times before, taking too much risk in retirement, taking too little risk, which can be more dangerous. I'll tell you, they both can be, and they can both end you up in the same place.
They can both.
Running out of money sooner than you had really wanted to.
Taking too much risk, you can go through bad markets and lose money. Not taking enough risk means that you can actually run out. Both are the same thing we're trying to avoid.
I think a really important message that you have helped me out with a lot, and we'd like to share with the viewers, that it's not so much just about the risk and even where your money is, but portioning it out at different time values of your life. The 5 to 10 year money, the 10 to 15 year money, the beyond that money for your 20 to 25, 30 years into retirement. All of your money doesn't have to be invested all of the same way.
Exactly. That's exactly right, Spike. It's taking the right risk and the right accounts for the right reasons. It's making sure that there's an alignment with jobs of what that money has to do. If it has to do income, if that's what its job is, can't have risk. If it's to do growth, that's not age-based, that's job-based. It's a totally different thought process.
Right, but to have it in the bank account or even a decent interest-earning account is fine if that's your monthly bills.
And your emergency money. We've got to have that. So there's a place for all these different areas. The problem is a lot of times we don't look at it that way.
Yeah. Tim, we got about 30 seconds, so I'll give you here. If you can kind of give us an idea again on the retirement blueprint, all of the different things we'll cover.
The retirement blueprint's our trademark process. It builds you a true retirement holistic written plan. It develops an income plan, a tax plan. It shows you when and how to claim Social Security, pensions. It builds an estate plan to protect those assets for you and your loved ones today and after you've passed away. It is literally as easy as calling the number that you see right here, 855-684-3485. Claim a spot on our calendar. Come in and sit down and talk with us. We'll give you a free cup of coffee and we'll listen to your story and build a plan for you.
And not just the coffee, you'll get your own complete retirement blueprint. Thanks for watching. Call that phone number right now. We'll be back again next week.